Arura Tyagesaya Pirandhaal Mukti, the glory of Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar. Namaskaram. Welcome to this humble space of sound, devotion and heritage. I am truly delighted to begin a new series on this channel, a series that celebrates the timeless glory of Thiruvarur, the sacred land of music, devotion and enlightenment. There is a saying known to every devotee of this holy kshetra, Pirandhaal Mukti, which means one who is born in Thiruvarur naturally attains liberation. Such is the sanctity of this divine place. Thiruvarur is not merely a town, it is a spiritual cosmos, one of the prime centers of Shaivism, a sacred seat of many doctrines of Hindu philosophy, a space where music, bhakti and wisdom have intertwined for centuries. In 18th and 19th centuries, Thiruvarur gifted to the world three radiant musical souls, the Sangeeta Mummurtis, Sri Shyama Shastrigal, Sri Tyagesaya Swamigal and Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar. Together, they illuminated the path of Carnatic music, establishing the very grammar and devotion that define our classical tradition today. This sacred land not only gave birth to Deekshita, but also inspired his compositions, his meditations and his surrender. Every note he composed, every raga he chose and every word he penned were soaked in mantra, devotion and the sacred vibrations of Thiruvarur. This channel, as many of you know, has always been centered on the glory of Thiruvarur, its temples, its traditions, its saints and its musical lineage. Through songs, reflections and stories, I have tried to keep alive the spiritual and the musical pulse of this divine land. And now, as we celebrate the 250th birth anniversary of Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar, it is my humble initiative to begin a special podcast series dedicated to this yogi on his life and works. We shall explore who he was, the young boy born amidst of the sound of Ajapa Nandana, the nada of Bharinayanam and the rhythm of Shuddha Maddalam of Thiruvarur. He journeyed to Kashi and received divine initiation from his guru Chidambaranatha Yogi. How he composed some of the most profound kritis soaked in mantra, raga and philosophy, and how he finally attained his Mukthi at Ep-1 on a Deepavali day, the festival of light merging into the supreme light. It is interesting, when I recently spoke to the devotees in Thiruvarur about Deekshita, I realized that many were not fully aware of his immense contribution on this very sthalam. Of course, his name shines in the history of Carnatic music across the world, but his deep spiritual connection with Thiruvarur, his birthplace, this temple is not spoken of enough, and that really moved me. So I felt inspired to begin the series to sing, to speak and to share the glory of this extraordinary Vaggeyakara and the great devotee, not merely as a scholar's subject but as a soul who lived and breathed the divine vibrations of Thiruvarur. Over the coming episodes, we will journey through his life, his philosophy and his music. We will look at the Kshetra Kritis, the Sanskrit lyrical mastery and the deep symbolism embedded in his composition. Each episode will attempt to reveal one more shade of his brilliance, not just as a Vaggeyakara but a saint who used music as a path of moksha. This is not merely a musical discussion, it is a spiritual voyage into the world of Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar, where every raga becomes a mantra and every word becomes an offering at the lotus feet of the divine. So as I begin this first episode on the auspicious day of Diwali, let us remember the same day that lights up every home with Deepam also marks the day when Deekshitar's soul was lit in eternal light at Ep-1. May this series be an offering at his lotus feet. May his divine music continue to guide us inward towards the silence and radiance of the self. I invite you all to join me in this journey to listen, to learn and to feel the divine pulse of Thiruvarur through the composition of this great master. Your support, your listening, and your devotion will make this offering complete. Once again, Namaste. This is Harish signing off from this introductory episode of Pirandhaal Mukti, a humble homage to Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar and the eternal glory of Thiruvarur. Stay tuned to the next episode where we will begin our journey into his life and early compositions. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Pidari Amman Thunai. Om Sri Tyagesaya Namaha. Namaskaram. Pirandhaal Mukti, the glory of Sri Muthuswamy Deekshitar.